Hey everyone, how is your week going? So today is July 1st. Today where Canada typically celebrates Canada Day, and I want to acknowledge that I personally am not feeling very celebratory about this country. I haven't for a few years, and it's not that I don't appreciate everything that I have access to. I have an immense amount of privilege. And as we're seeing with so many of these mass graves being uncovered, not in a shocking way because we knew that they were there. Survivors have been telling us, but I personally am using this day to reflect and observe it as a day of mourning. I think it should be a national day of mourning right now. Beyond that, I want to check in. How have you been finding the shares this week about resentment? What is speaking to you? Yesterday, I shared about an exercise that I like to have my clients do, and that is giving yourself carte blanche to have the full expression of what you are harboring resentments about. And, oftentimes I can write about that, but it might feel like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, I get mad about things, but, but I just want to dig in a little bit more and talk to you about what that might look like. When I talk about the tears or yelling, setting yourself up to fully express the things that you haven't been allowing yourself to create boundaries about is extremely powerful, because it's like the expression of no for the first time ever, like the full expression of no. Like you might try on a little no here and a little no there. It might kind of like feel scary or good, or maybe you're not sure what that is. But let me set you up the way that I would set one of the people that I'm working with one-on-one up. A little freebie here. My recommendation is that you find a time where you are going to be uninterrupted. Give yourself a couple of hours even. And if that seems like too much, just trust me on this. Not because the whole process is going to take 2 hours, but because you might want to just kind of reflect and kind of be still after you do this. And so block off a couple of hours. Make sure that no one is going to disturb you. Make sure that you are able to vocalize without fear of being heard or interrupted. And grab a notebook and a pen or a pencil, whatever, writing implement, and start to write down the things that are frustrating you, all of the ways that you feel that you've been wronged or that people are taking advantage of you. If this is something that's part of your MO, right? So if you're a people pleaser or even a recovering people pleaser, because people who are recovering people pleasers, we still can fall back into those patterns. I've done a ton of work on this, and I still find myself being like, oh, well, this would, really make this person happy. And sometimes I really do want to, add some joy to someone. But if I find myself encroaching on my own boundaries in order to do that, that's when I start thinking like, oh, like this person is just like, I don't know, it just feels kind of icky. So, anyways, write down ways in which you're feeling like that you're feeling taken advantage of, or that, you said no and you didn't want to. And like that time that your mom made you wear that thing, right? So, where I'm going with this is opening that door will have a tendency to open up a little bit of a floodgate. It might not be right away. And my challenge to you is that as you write, or as you actually, you know what, you don't have to write. You can actually speak it into, into your phone. If you want to do it into one of your voice notes, that's okay too. Or you can just, do it into the void. If you've got a room that you can just talk to yourself in, that's okay too. But, start. and the ball will get rolling. And you might find yourself like suddenly having this like surge, like from a lot of people have been sharing like, oh yeah, I hold resentment right in here, right? Because like what happens is you swallow the things that you really want to say. They, you know, sometimes they might kind of stew a little bit in here, but they make their way down and they settle and they fester right in the gut space. And anything that goes in has to come out at some point, right? And so as you start to notice the stuff that's churning and wanting to be released, this is where you have a choice to try and hold on to it even harder, which is what we have been taught to do. You know, keep it under control. My challenge is don't keep it under control. Let the floodgates open. Let yourself start to yell. Say the things that you've been wanting to say that you haven't allowed yourself to fully express. And that's why you want to be alone for a little bit, right? Because you might start to yell, you might start to swear, you might have entire conversations with a person that you have not been able to have a conversation with or express yourself to. And this is your time to be able to express it and say everything that's been sitting and rotting and festering right in here. And you want to do that until you're empty. And you're not really empty, but what you're doing is you're making space for something new. And it might be scary and it might be uncomfortable. Like it will definitely be uncomfortable because it's something that you're not used to. But the space that it makes for you to create new habits, new patterns from is extremely powerful. And you might find that your relationship with either the person or that pattern that you've been holding on to changes after that. And you might find that you're really, really tired after it as well. If you can, you know, have a bath or, you know, some sort of exposure to water. If you can have a bath, that's great. Add some Himalayan salt water. That would be my recommendation. If you can go for a swim, like living water, so good. Or even a shower. Shower works too. And just let your body resettle after that big release. So that's one of my resentment exercises that I do with people. If you give this a try and you're feeling brave, I would love for you to share in the comments below what it was like for you. Or, you know, if you feel too scared to, like, share that too, right? This is a space where I think that you're welcome to let other people know what's going on for you in that, and hopefully that we can all support you. So that's it for today. I am going to do my best to be way more consistent with these videos in here. And I hope it's been going well, and stay tuned for next week's stuff too. Bye for now. Take care.